Breech, in general, from a Māori perspective, our babies are just viewed differently. So they're born in their power. They, when they're in utero, they're in their atuatanga, so they're in their divine being. And a Breech baby was often seen as someone quite special, as someone who was a leader, because they chose to come through in a different way. They're the trailblazers, so they don't kind of follow suit and do what everyone else does. Are the leaders that come through to pave the new paths, and they were kind of looked at in that kind of way and cared for accordingly. Mm-hmm. So Breech was never something scary. It was just a sign of a leader or somebody really special coming through, and they were cared for in that way from my perspective.
Okay. And you said it had something to do with them being a little more connected with the...
So yeah, in the atuatanga, so connected to the taha wairoa, or that spiritual space, and then coming into te ao marama or into the world and things, they were sitting in that divine space and getting that divine knowledge longer, which is part of what impacted on their ability for leadership, because they would come out with more of that knowledge and they would make new paths instead of following the old paths. The Breech baby was always the baby that made their own choice and would come through as leaders, as opposed to the other babies that would come through that were special in that way.
There's the medical treatment, which is Breech is scary, we must go to surgery. Then there's also the idea that we must turn this baby, it's the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And then there's the other tradition in which it's seen as a mark of, in some ways, a mark of honor.
Yeah.
And that's being special. And so how do those conversations play out, because you have different ways of thinking about Breech that don't line up with each other?
I think a lot of it has to do with fear these days. I mean, like in that time and in those traditions, because of that space that was held, that probably could be honoured in a really safe way, and you would have those tohunga that could really tune into that space. Mm-hmm. And it is in any kind of birthing body, like it is about surrender and things. And if the mum, for whatever reason, is not feeling confident in that space, it's really hard to kind of say anything. But I mean, especially coming to this workshop as well, and then having a little bit of that significance from a traditional perspective, I would really encourage women to kind of listen to their bodies and listen to their babies, and if anything, trust that their baby is choosing to do what they need to do, and they are doing it for their own reasons and their own personalities. And that's the kōrero that I would have around that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you said your own children, one of them was Breech, had their own personalities?
He does, and yeah, he's challenging. So I unfortunately didn't have an opportunity to birth vaginally with my baby. It was really presented in a fear-driven way. I didn't have a chance to labour or anything, and that was taken away from me, and it was a really interesting experience for me, especially moving into a practitioner now, because there was a disconnect in cutting my child from me kind of thing, and our bond, and that is really different. And he is a testament to that kind of kōrero around, the path will be this way. He'll wake up and even as a baby, you'll be open screaming, wanting a cuddle, and you'll be there with your arms open. He'll go all the way around in a circle before he comes back, and and he does do things very differently. He kind of feels and thinks things very differently, which does require a bit of patience, because we all get used to someone responding in a certain way. So when we meet those taonga, and they are special, and they are taonga that kind of challenge the boundaries, you need patience with them and personality. And for me, that's, in my own experience as well, that is what Breech is. They are our taonga that challenge the boundaries and the structures of things, and it's why they need to come through.
Yeah. It's lovely.
So cool, isn't it? So cool.
I know. Wonderful.
So
well, thank you so much.
Kia ora.